Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So this is part two in my abstract painting where I used like three different paints and I'm gonna do, I don't know, kind of like a flower in the middle. Now you can do a heart, you can do whatever kind of stencil you have. And if you don't have a stencil, just fold a piece of paper in half. I've done it before on here and cut out a heart and then use that stencil as your part on your art journal page, canvas, whatever you're using. Now, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use a Stabilo, but you can use a pencil, you can use, whatever you have. Let's see. What color is this? This is a brown, and this is a Stabilo all. Use a watercolor pencil, use a regular pencil. It doesn't matter. And what I'm going to do is move this around on here until I see kind of where I like it the best, really, because it could be anywhere. Or if you want it in the middle, because what ultimately is going to happen is we're gonna keep what we see in here and kind of paint more on the outside, if that makes sense. So, I hate when there's more than one place I like. I don't want it up too far. I think I'm going to go here. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Doesn't matter if it's straight or not. And listen, if you want to draw, you can just draw, uh, whatever. But like I said, you can use whatever you want here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of trace in my stencil. So I know not, where I don't want to paint. So much fun, isn't it? Or you can trace and nobody says anything to you. Which I don't think there's anything wrong with tracing anyway, but. I think I have enough. Let's lift it up and see. And yeah, you can see where where it's at, because we'll put it back down again and paint it again, but and make sure that we're good, but not paint it, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so now we're going to do some background colors. So I'm going to go light to dark, I think. I'm going to take some of the Dutch Aqua from Folk Art. I'm going to push it down. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. If for whatever reason you're painting and you're doing your page or your ATC or canvas or what have you, don't worry if you accidentally go over it. You can always catch yourself and still keep something in the middle. Like we can always, make it work. Because believe me, I have many Tim Gunn moments where I say to myself, make it work, girl, make it work. Because I can be a mess. Okay, so I want a bigger, like a kind of medium kind of brush. I'm going to wet it. And I'm going to take, I just have two colored like turquoisey greens here. This is a little bit greener. This is a little bit bluer. And I don't want to like lose a lot of this, but I need some darkness and some more color. So I'm just going to kind of go in and touch. I hate to lose all of it, but And you know what else you could do is you could take your darker color, whatever color you want, and kind of very closely go in and go around it. So you kind of know, like, let's not touch in there right now. Get some of this color, just a little bit of it going. It's just a level less than what I was using, so it's really not going to make that much of a difference. Oh, I love that color there, though. All right. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of water. Just shears it out a bit. I'm going to try to stay away from in here because I have obviously a water-soluble pencil there. Let's see. Just going to drag it. And everything underneath is permanent. Remember that watercolor dries and everything. But if you do not have permanent underneath, maybe you used your sprays. Maybe it doesn't matter. It'll mix a little bit, but it'll be fine. I'm going to kind of go in here because I don't want this to be too what word do I want to use? I want you to be able to see the colors. I want it to be sheer, I guess is what I'm saying. A little more sheer than it is. And you can see the colors coming through. Ugh, I love it. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to get use more of this dark blue. I love the way that comes through. I love the green and the pink. I love it. Okay. So I'm going to put that in there. And now I just have my paper towel that I've been using. And I'm going to just pull some of it up. Not a lot because, you know, I'll go around here a little bit. And make sure you move your rag or your paper towel, whatever you're using, because you'll start transferring, you know, what you're lifting up back onto your painting, which I've done many times. Oh, I love it. I'm looking at the thing and I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm going to see if I can use my small paintbrush here and just get a little bit of this. Not so, I want it more transparent, not opaque. That's what I wanted to say. What the heck? What the heck? Okay. You see, I'm just kind of dragging that right on that edge. And I went over it a little bit. It's okay. It's not going to hurt nobody. Not going to hurt nobody. I really love this inside, but I don't know. Might have to add some more colors once I know where I'm at. Okay. So now I have this. And now I'm going to take the dark blue again, which is the same color. This is the cobalt blue. I'm just going to add a little bit. Just that little bit, because this blue, what's this dog doing? Driving me nuts today, for sure. Okay, my brush is wet, and I'm just going to stir it around a little bit, both sides of the brush, so it loads both sides. And I'm going to kind of, I don't know, I don't want to ruin too much, because these colors are so pretty. Like, I love the way that's dripping. I can make this drip. Maybe let's try to make it drip. Why not? Okay, let's do it. Let's make it drip down this way. Yeah. Make it come this way a little bit. Come on. You can do it. I'm going to just add a little bit of water to help push it along. I'm just going to steer it a little bit so it doesn't necessarily get on my middle part. And it is, it's kind of like doing, I mean, look how beautiful that looks. I'm just going to let it ride it out. Okay. Look how pretty. Isn't that really, I love it. I love it. Now, I want to, maybe I'll drip a different color there. Maybe I won't mess with that too much. Maybe I'll just dab a little bit there. And I love this. Oh gosh, so many colors that I love. So many colors. Let's dip in some of the green again. And I'm sticking, I just want them to be more opaque on the outside, but not, you know. And this is, if you've not seen the video before, this is the Martha Stewart Soft Gel Watercolor Acrylic Craft Paint. It's a mouthful, but it's great paint. And if you are interested in seeing how I got the background before I started this part, I will link it at the end of the video and down below, so you can go and see. All right, let's do, I'm just tapping for now. I'm going to tap, 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 tap. I was so into the acrylic pouring, and I love it, but it can be a pain in the butt to get everything set up. So I really want to try, I have some folk art stuff that I want to try with it to see, how that's going to work together. And I just have to clean my desk and get more room. Like I have to get like this part down here of my desk clean so I have stuff to work with. Because I really enjoy playing and how it looks, but it could be, especially making videos on YouTube, practically every day. It gets, I have to have my space. Either that or I have it on my dining room table, and then that becomes a eyesore. My throat's sore today. I am so sorry. Okay, so you see how we kind of got it here and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to closely squirt. And you know what? Some might run in there, and that's okay. I'm not going to be mad at it. I just want it to kind of run. And then come back this way. And you can see it's crossing over there. It's no big deal. This way. Which I only have one that way, see. Okay. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of tap in any puddles that I think like, like I'm okay with this one. It's a little dark, but it got the blue and the green in it. So I'm going to dry this real quick, as well as keep pushing the color. And if it's not moving enough for you, just spray more water. So you know what way? I'm going to try it. Before I dry it all, let's do it a little bit this way. Spray a little bit on you. Yeah. Just a lot of drips. Grungy, almost grungy, but just some color. And why I dry this is because everything's going to turn permanent. once it's dry. It's going to become permanent, so it won't lift off. Now, if you're not using permanent, if you're using watercolor or uh, dilution sprays, for instance, they're going to lift a little bit, and just make it's okay. Like I said, I'm looking at this and I don't even know if I'm going to keep that o'clock. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I'm going to leave it lighter than the rest. And that's the fun of doing mixed media and doing art. Art journal pages, ATC cards, whatever. Take a piece of printer paper, sit down and have at it. And I'm just pushing some of these little puddles with my heat gun. Now, use your hair dryer. You can leave it to sit. It doesn't have to dry. You don't have to dry it with a heat gun or a hair dryer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this way. And the reason I'm going to do that is so I'm looking at it from a different angle, because I don't know what way, and I'm dripping a lot this way. So I kind of want to see, what I got going on. Now there's a puddle here, and it's a pretty green, but I'm just going to kind of tap it up just so it dries a little quicker. And then just hit it real quick. And I think now I'm going to go in with pink. I think I'm going to go in with pink. Just a little bit, because I really like the pink in here. And I want it to be a little bit more prominent, I think. So just a little bit. Come on, baby. And this is almost gone. This is fuchsia. And I'll just take my brush, make sure it's wet, go in. And, let's see. I really like this corner. I don't want to ruin it too much, so I'll just kind of drag it in a little bit like that and then wet it so it can drip. And I am kind of loving the white that breaks it up. You know what I mean? Like I love this. Ugh, this is where I have problems. And I do want to drip here. I want to break this blue going around here. I don't necessarily want it to be all focused there, if that makes sense. And underneath this is just 2 pieces of paper. I think it's tracing paper. It could be printer paper, whatever you want. So all these colors, and all the paint that drips, you can save, and you'll be making your own mixed media paper, your own scrapbook paper, your own whatever you want paper. Okay. And I think I'm going to break, see how dark this is kind of right here? I think I'm just going to take a little bit and just kind of pop it and wet my brush. And I'm tapping, even though I wet my brush and it's very wet, because I want it to kind of disperse that paint. Okay. So I'll leave you there for a second. Here it goes. I'm going to go down this way first. Kind of guided if it's kind of going. It's a going. Okay, now let me turn it this way. And I just love the way it looks, like I said, on top of what's already dry. But trust me, I'll go like a step too far. I'll be like, oh, I love it. I'm going to add one more thing. And then it's like, oh, I did the step too far. I don't know if any of you have experienced it. Doesn't mean that it's ruined. It just means I should have probably just stopped. All right, I'm kind of digging this right now. I'm kind of digging it. And now I just want to figure out what way I'm going to turn it. So, I mean, I kind of love just the way. Okay, all right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper underneath. Oh no, first I'll dry this. First let me dry this. And you can see I have a little bit of pigment there, so I'm just going to lift that off. It just gets a little thick if I don't stir it or smush it. All right, that'll be enough for now. I might even do a like dark border, I'm not sure. But let me show you so far, look. I love it. Now once the flower's done, I can always go back and white out some of this, or, you know, if I think, like, because I love these drips, but maybe with this it's not going to be the best. I don't know. We shall see. Okay, so now I'm going to take this again, and I'm going to kind of find the way I had it sat in here for the most part. I can see that I cut myself short. Okay. All right, so at the end of the day, it's not going to be the most horriblest thing in the world. Okay, so I'm going to take my brush. I think I'm going to go in with just this little bit of blue. You can see it's almost dry. I don't even know how much I'm going to get up of it. I'm going to kind of take it around the perimeter. I don't know what this is going to look like. I'm playing. I have it in my head. I figure why not do it on video? If it comes out completely crappy, I won't show it. Which is what I do a lot of the time. Sometimes things just, you're probably thinking, God, if what you show us is the good stuff and not the crappy stuff, whoosh. But it happens. And because the water's not, I mean, the paint's not already like dry all the way. Once I add water, it'll help reconstitute it enough so I can kind of get what I want. Now I know the middle is going to be darker, so I'm just going to kind of go in on it. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to take the cobalt blue and I'm just going to dip it just the littlest bit in the top. I'm going to pat it off here and just kind of get that middle. And if you're doing a heart or anything like that, get this a little darker here. I just really want to make sure I see these edges. You know, just do the middle a little bit darker or lighter, whichever you want. Because then when I lift this off, see how I have, you know, I have the idea a little bit better where it's at. Now what I'm going to do is take my brush and kind of pull out the sides that because I laid it down the wrong way, which, like I said, it's not the end of the world. It'll just look like it's, whoops, my computer went to sleep. It's like, you've been doing this a little too long. which I know, but I love doing it. I can't help it. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna wipe this off. I'm gonna lay it back down. Come on. I'm gonna go in with some clean water or clean brush. See, this is where it gets funky. Figuring out, like, oh, I gotta pay attention. It's not that hard. It's just that I don't pay too much of attention to things. I'll just keep it like that. You'll get the gist of it. There we go. I'm gonna go in with a wet and just tap in some of this blue on the line there. You know what? I'm thinking, I wonder if I use a color shift. Wonder if I use, where's that nice blue or purple? What color I use? Oh, maybe this. All right, I don't know which one to use. I think I'm going to use the purple. That's what I'm going to do. I changed my whole mind. I really like the pink, but I don't know. Oh, God. The decisions in life, right? That purple's really pretty, but so is the pink. I think I'm going to go with pink. I don't know. I think I am. Okay, I got some in the cap. And I'm going to go and just dot this up. Because I love this paint. I love all these colors, these shifts, color shifts. And it's going to take a couple. Layers, but I think I can get it enough. And I'm not lifting it because I don't want to lose it. And I'm okay with anything coming through from the bottom, if anything does come through, because I can always go and lighten it up or do whatever I want. But this is what I'm going to do right now. Now I might want to put, I think I'm going to take some white and just lighten this, I think maybe a little bit, and then go back in with the pink. It's all good. It's all good. Changing my whole plan. Which, that's the fun of painting, isn't it? Changing what you do. Seeing something and then getting inspired and thinking like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to do that. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit it from way above. Do not, if you're using the plastic stencil, do not hold your heat gun near it in one, place or too close for too long because it'll melt it. So you really want to hold it high. Same with the hair dryer. Just, pay attention, be cautious. Or you can just leave it sit here. It doesn't matter. And acrylic paint dries very fast, so I'm going to dry my brush and go in one more time. And you can use gesso instead of the white. I'm using white because it's sitting here, and my gesso is here too, but I mix the two. It doesn't matter because it's just going to be my base. And if you don't have gesso, don't feel bad. Use white. It doesn't matter. It's all going on the painting. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, okay. I bet you if I lifted that up, that'd look cool with the white. Oh, Kelly, don't. You're going to change your whole mind again. Oh, I don't know what to do. I love the pink outlining it. Oh, crap. I love that. I love the white just looking at you, saying, hey, how you doing? But it's a little too stark white, I think, for the background. Maybe I should just go in with some other. Oh, I hate it. Now I'm afraid this is going to be too dark. Maybe the part. I don't know. I don't know if I want this pink now. Oh, I'm gonna whine. I'm gonna whine. What colors do I want? I think that pink's gonna be too dark, just tonally. Just, do you know what I mean? Like, you see how dark it is? This might do a little better. Let's see. Oh, geez, come on, Cal. Get with the program here. Sorry, I'm opening it and it's fighting with me. Okay. Okay. I think. Let's try this. Use this paintbrush. Make sure it's clean and damp. And I'm going in. Oh, mama. All right, I'm just going for it. How am I going to know, right? I think this is going to be a better pick, though. Because I can always I want to get a marker and outline the flower. Oh my God. I didn't realize I was like at a half hour. Sorry. But I'm definitely feeling this color more than the pink because it's just lighter. It's a cooler color. Oh yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dry it real quick to get the bulk of it dry. Just keep moving it around. All right. Going in for the second coat. If you're not good at tracing and you want to trace it, you can definitely leave this dry for the most part. You don't want to leave it like completely dry overnight because you want to be able to lift it off. But then you can go in with your marker and trace around whatever you have there. But I like the kind of sketchy look because that's kind of what it's going. You know, it's kind of sketchy. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just going to leave it sit for a minute. Just for a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this for a second and set it here. And then take this. I'm just going to lay this with the extra paint and everything on it. And just kind of smear it around so it's on booth. Yeah. Okay. Now I got some painted paper. Not bad. I'm going to lay it up there so it dries, not on each other because that will not be fun. And I don't know if this is going to all come off right now. I just don't want it to get on the thing. So I'm going to be throwing this away. So anything wet, come up, please. And this is acrylic paint. This is a non-stick. It'll all come off. It just takes a little bit of scrub. And some things stain, some colors stain, which I'm like, oh man, you're supposed to be acrylic paint. Why are you staining on my... I think I moved my camera when I went out. Okay. Okay. Ready? Oh my goodness. Oh. I see how it's sticking. You don't want to leave it much longer because it obviously will stick. Now I can leave this on here. I don't never clean off my things because I just am that kind of girl. But oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just in the middle and it doesn't matter. I might want it this way. I don't know. But look at that. You see that shifting? It's blue or purple really. And then you shift, look, it looks silver. Look at that. Look right there. Hello. So different ways that you look at it. Oh gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And again, that is the Blue Violet Flash in the Folk Art color shift. Ooh, looky, looky, looky. And that's 2 layers. So now I know what I want to do is I want to go in and I don't think I want to color anymore. I'm digging. See, this is what I'm loving. Let me see. I'm loving it. Can you see underneath? You can see all the beautiful colors that are here coming up through. I dig that. Now, I really wasn't going to go for the solid of this, but I am loving it. And I don't know if it's coming off as beautiful as it is on here. So what I'm going to do is let that dry, and then I'll trace it with a marker, and I'll show you, you know, that I told you I'm going to use the, what's it called? What's it called? Oh, good God, Kelly, the Faber-Castell, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do that just to make it it stick out just a little bit more around the edges. I'm not going to touch anything in the middle. I am loving this. Oh my God, the color. I can lean back here. I can look up here. I love it. I don't know which way I want it to sit. Look at that. Okay. I can play all day. So I'm going to let this dry and then I will be back and I'll show you the trace and what else. And like I said, I am loving this so much. So excited. Okay, so it's dry now. And I mean, I'm loving it. I can't even get enough. It's gorgeous. And I love the abstract of all the background. But I was looking at it and I was going to go and outline it. I tried a little bit of like a periwinkle purplish blue to kind of see, but I think I want pink. And I don't know if I want marker or if I want paint. So I'm going to show you how I like to do, you know, when I use these. This is a Faber-Castell artist big brush, like the Pit pen. You can use this, you can use paint, you can use Crayola watercolor markers. I've said it all, you know what I mean? And what I was going to do was, you see like where it's a little, you know, there's like not much color and that kind of thing. I'm staying away from in here because I love that. But what I like to do is kind of go in like that and then just take my finger and blend it. And you see how it blends a little bit? And you can go as dark, you know, and as much as you want. You can use some water if you want to blend it, and you want to do it with, you can do this with a Sharpie or whatever before it dries. But as I'm looking at all of this real quick, and I changed my mind 1,000 times, I think I want more like white or cream. I don't know. I'm kind of debating. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I love this freaking color. The raspberry ice from Martha's store. I'm going to give it a little, and like I said, you could use this. I don't know if they have color names on here. This is just 129. But I'm going to just squirt a little bit of that. And I'm going to take like a shader kind of brush. Let me do this kind. Just like that. It is a plaid. I don't know if I can even see. Flat. It's a flat. Just so. And you don't have to have plaid. You can use whatever you have or use your fingers. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to, my brush is wet and I'm just going to pull out. That's what it means then. And I'm going to go in. And the reason I think I'm going to use the paint is because it's a little more bright than, I don't want to touch my flower that I did. And I'm just going to go around and I'm going to take my finger and kind of smudge it a bit because I want it to have a little bit of an outline. And you see how it kind of, and I'm going to add some, like I said, some cream. Let's do, wait, do I want this cream or this cream? Ugh, what color are you, baby? Tapioca. Oh, I could go for some tapioca. That's what she said. Okay, I'm just being stupid. All right, and I'm going to take some of this, and I'm just, like I said, just putting a little bit. I'd always do on both sides, though, just because then you get just better coverage. And you can see it's making a lighter pink. Now, I love this here, the green, like, I'm not going to bother that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to kind of go around, and it doesn't have to always have white in it. It can be dark, it could be whatever. And I think that's, and I use my finger just to kind of blend it. And you can wet your finger a little bit or use a paper towel, wet your brush. And I'm going to, see how I'm wetting my finger a little bit, dabbing it off, dabbing from my Angie. And I'm blowing out, which is what I like to call it, the outside. So it's not harsh lines. You know, it kind of like goes out into the atmosphere. Yeah. I love this around here, but, you know, and if you need a little bit more, do it. Because remember, once this is dry, we can layer. This is bothering me right here, so I think I might just tap it. I'm going to tap that. I need to stop. Okay. And just kind of do that. Because I can layer some more of the blue or whatever I have. Do you know what I mean? And the reason I'm doing, you can see over here, this has a little pink here. This has this blue and green. But what I want is I'm digging this right here. So I want, and I don't know why this appeals to me so much, but I like the pink kind of blended in a little bit, you know. I'm going to take a little bit of white and just kind of blend that. And like I said, and if you're like somebody who doesn't like to use their, you know, finger or get your fingers dirty, use a makeup sponge or a dry brush or, you know, paper towel on your finger or whatever. But I want to continue this kind of down, as you can see, just a little bit. So it kind of connects it. Okay. Like that. Nothing too major. And like I said, I'm kind of digging all this. Now I can see right here I'm not digging that. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of the pink and kind of drag this down a little bit. And then I'm going to rinse my brush and I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the white and kind of tap it out a little bit. I don't want that to get on there. Just to pull a little bit of that pink in there. Never be worried, you know, or afraid to change your mind on something that you're doing. If you sit down and you have a way that you want it to come out and you start doing it and you're like, oh, it's not coming out how I pictured it or whatever, it's okay. Just go with the flow and it'll lead you to what what you want it to be. Now I'm going to dry this real quick. Am I though? Yeah. All right. I'm going to dry it for the most part, because any whites or anything that I put on there right now will just mix the colors and it's not going to give me what I'm looking for. Now I'll go in with a little white, on my brush wet, Kelly, oh la la. And I think I'm going to dry brush it a little bit. And just keep pulling it out. Just play with it till you get what you want. Yeah, I like that much better. Now I'll just go in and kind of tap in certain areas. And it's a game. It's a game. It's like painting faces or painting, trying to get like shadow and whatever. You know what I mean? So like do this and then dry it. And then maybe you want a little bit more pink because you're like, oh, you know what, this area, that area. And that's all you do. Don't get hung up on anything too much because, now I can go in with a little bit of the pink and I can tap this off a little bit and kind of bring it up there a little bit more. Bring it down here a little darker just so it has transitioning look to it. And I'm just tapping it. I could bring it up here. And I like it. I like it because, like I said, I got all this over here, and this is just kind of bringing it into the blue, turquoise, what have you. Okay, so now I'm going to throw my brush now. All right, so what I'm really digging is the white coming through. So what I'm going to do, I got a brush. It's dry. I did not wet it. I want to see bringing in this tapioca color, and it could be cream, it could be white, it could be, who knows what it's going to be. I just don't know if I want to do much more of the stark white coming through, but I don't know. Now, I love certain parts of this, but over here I need a balance of a little bit of a lighter area, and I think up here, so I can see that I have some areas down here where I can kind of just add a little bit. And kind of tap it up, same thing. And you see how that like kind of lightens that up a little bit. Now you can, you can go and blot out any section. Like let's say right here. Oh, this is looks like a blob. It's kind of dark, like this. It's kind of like branching and doing all this. This is a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is kind of just drag it. And then I'm going to go in my paper towel, a little bit of water, And then I like to kind of dab it a bit. And I want that blue to still come through. So you want to make sure you add that water. But you can see the blue, but it's not as much as it was. And then go and feather the outside of that tapioca color, white color, whatever. And it just, I don't know how well you can see it on there. It just adds something to it. It takes that harshness off, but yet you still see that blue. And again, you can go add more white and take more off, and it just doesn't matter until you're happy with it. And I'm going to leave that like that. I'm really digging. I think I'm going to go in here and add this a little whiter and just feather it out with my brush and take it all the way up till it connects up here. And then we're going to go around the outside too. But I'm really digging, like I said, I dig the white sections so much. I think I want some here. And it's just a dry brush. You're not gonna blur out too much. Like right here, you can see it's kind of green, and all I'm gonna do is whatever's left on my brush, just cut it in the middle. And take it down like that. And pat it. You see, and it just takes that little bit away. And it's a bit light, but I can go back in with another color. I don't, I'm kind of digging the pink because I really like the pink with this, but I don't know. I'll just go back and dry brush. Okay. It's just those little bit of subtleties that work. Now I'm going to go back in with some of the aquamarine. It's like that turquoisey blue, and I'm just touching the edge, and I'm going to go in and I'm dragging some of this in. Oh, I forgot to take those colors off my brush. Now I'm going to rinse my brush and just dry it real quick. And I'm just pulling it in from where I see you can see like some of the colors here. And let's see, just kind of pulling it in there. Tap it to kind of blur it out a little bit. And that's just so you don't have all that pink. And you're kind of blending it. But you want that pink, you know what I'm saying? You want it to look like you did it from the beginning. You can hear I'm just hitting it. Okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. I love the way that's looking. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this pink and I'm going to dab it down here and I'm going to extend it out a little bit and then wipe it with my paper towel. A wet finger to add a little bit of water. Because I want that green still there and I want that white still there, but I want some of that pink to break it up. See how it just makes it look like it's flowing in. I'm digging this. I think I'm going to put the word breathe. Now here's my dilemma. I was going to trace this in black, but I needed to put some more of that pink there. I think if I trace it in black, it's going to be, which I love that look, like that thing, the look. So I haven't quite decided on that, but I do think I'm going to write the word breathe. Like I'm going to do breathe right here, because that's what, and that will break this up here as well. That's what I think I might do. And I still can't decide about, like I said, now that I have this pink and the green and everything's going, I don't want to mess up. I don't know if I do black, if that's going to be too much. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Because I'm not going to outline here because I like that little bit coming through. I don't know. Oh, see, this is where the details get me. Because I could sit here and just doodle and do details. And you can see I'm just a little bit and I'm just patting it out. And it makes it look like it's been there. But I do need a frame, like a color around as a frame. So that's what I got to decide. What color? All right. Okay. Okay. Let's figure out the frame. Let me take this off real quick. Just so I can get the color. All right. What color should I do around? It needs to be dark, but I think black will be too dark. If you could live in my head. I have this gray that I picked. I don't think that's going to be dark enough, though. I'm wondering, should I go around with the dark blue? Cobalt blue. I'm thinking. Or do I go around with the purple? Maybe that'll pull it all together. I think that's what I'll do. And again, this is what the flash, blue violet flash. Look how pretty, look how pretty, look how pretty. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it. And I always take from the lid of anything that I paint. Lay it there. Pop the bubble. And I think I'm going to use some sort of sponge. Except this is hard. I did clean it, but it's hard. And I don't so much want that. What about one of these? Nice shot of my arm there, isn't it? One of these I think I'm going to use. These come from, these are like Mod Podge matte. Mod Podge stuff, you know. Oh my goodness, look at the color. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Look. Oh, the excitement. Okay. So I'm going to go. Do one side at a time. And this side's going to be a little hard for you to see at first because it's, for whatever reason, no matter how I sit here at this desk, my camera just doesn't adjust well. And it, the light just blows it out. All right, so I'm just going back and forth and blending it in. And you can go with your finger a little bit if you want it a little softer. Sometimes I like that hard edge, but I think for here I'll do it a little. That's why you just want to do little pieces at a time, no matter what colors you do. You could do a metallic, you could do a flat color, it doesn't matter. I just have to go around this way because I'll do this part next and then my arm ends up in it. So let me start from this way. And I start little, you know, you can kind of go in a little bit more. I'm not doing it to be certain and perfect. If you want to, you could put your, what's it called, painter's tape down or masking tape, and you can do that as well and make it perfect and then pull the tape off right before, you know, leave it dry for a few minutes and then take it off. Just don't let it dry completely because you'll be sorry. here. I'm going to go in and kind of blend it a little bit. You don't have to. You can put water on your fingers. It doesn't matter. And you could be fancy, and if you're using something circular or something, you can make it just like so the edges go like as circles. You know what I mean? And that makes it look like that. I'm not fancy. At least not today. And then I'll go in and just kind of blend it a little bit. Probably need 2 coats on some of it. And then go again. Just the edges. Yeah, I like that around the edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to dry it real quick. I like how it's kind of smoked out. Okay, I'm going to tap in there. Take some of it, tap it in here, and I'm going in again. Oh, I love it. I love these paints. You can see I'm just going over it again because I want it to be a little bit more opaque. I mean, I want that color to come through the bottom, but I kind of want it to look almost like I used the brushed metal, I guess, in a sense, except it's this. It's the color shift. Yeah, 2 coats definitely helps it. Which usually is the case with paints. I like that like rigidy kind of look. Oh my God, Kel. Okay, am I the only one? Too much crap on my desk. I really need to clean it. Okay, I'm doing the same thing, just pouncing it. Because I can see over here it's not as thick or not as opaque. Just kind of rubbing my fingers. Yeah, going around there. I'm gonna go up this side one more time. Like this. Now once it dries, if you sit here for about 10 minutes and it dries, and you leave it dry, or you sit with your heat gun or hair dryer or whatever and dry it, and then you see little parts like, oh, that's, I need to touch that up or whatever, then you go back with more of this paint and kind of touch it up to where it's to your liking. You know what I mean? Like I see right here. A little more. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, now I need to put the lid on because I'll end up with it spilt. I'm like that little child who just started walking and spills everything. So this is how it came out. Like I said, I'm gonna going to put the word breathe over here. I almost want this to kind of run. I almost am sitting here thinking like, wonder if I should put more of that and make it drip on everything. I don't know. I'll have to decide that later. But look, so it looks, I'm digging it. Now let me give you a hint. If you're doing any kind of canvas and you want these edges, just take this while you still have the color on it and run it. So it kind of takes care of those edges and gives you a little bit of color there. Smooths out anything, you know. Let's see, I'm dripping here. There we go. Okay. I love it. 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 I'm not even complaining. The only thing I might do is take my dry brush and these edges and just kind of blur them out a little bit more. Because I like that smoked out look. And like I said, I don't know, I might make it drip. I don't know. Then I'll go back in and just kind of tap it so it's love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So to go in here. So that is it. That is it. If you've sat with me and watched this fully become reality, I appreciate it so very much. If you have been with me the whole time, can you put down in the comments, let's see, what can we say? How about pink rules? Pink rules. So I know that you sat with me on both parts of this. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if I should drip or not. I might drip before I don't know. I'm going to let this fully dry though first before I decide. I like it. Like I said, I am going to write the word breathe here, but I'm going to wait until everything's kind of dry so I don't put my hands in it. And I'll show you on the next, in one of my videos, I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. And yeah, as always, please be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. I love you guys so very much, and progress, not perfection. I just had a blast doing this. It's something that came to my head and I was like, I think I'm going to try doing it. And that's it. Share me around if you would be so kind. And if you are new to my channel or just found me and you would like to be subscribed, click that subscribe button down below. Click the bell next to it so you get notified when I upload, which is 5 to 6 times a week. I love you guys so very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.